All right, everybody, we are back for the best bets video for UFC Vegas 113 Bautista versus Oliveira. I'm going to try to make this video like under 15 minutes. I don't want it to be long because the fights are tomorrow, so I want to get this out as quick as I can. We're not going to do every fight, but we'll do almost every fight on the card. So let's kick it off with Priscilla Cachoeira versus Claudia Segula. I like Cachoeira money line. I don't love her, but she's got enough power to hurt Segula on the feet. I think if you want to play it safe, probably take fight doesn't go to decision, just because I think both these girls are able to finish. I'd say Segula more likely take down Cachoeira, expose her less than stellar grappling and get a ground and pound TKO or a submission. And if I'm on the Cachoeira side, I'm expecting one of those big shots to hit Segula on the feet and knock her out. So I put Cachoeira money line because it's plus money, and I think it's probably the safest plus money bet on this fight in particular. But if I'm going to take a second bet, I would probably take the fight doesn't go to a decision, only because I think both these girls are able to finish in different areas of the fight. Like I said, Segula more on the ground with a ground and pound TKO or a submission, and Cachoeira on the feet with the power she possesses in the striking. So yeah, that's what I like for this fight, and we'll move to the next one. All right, up next, you've got Gafarov versus Vikwach or Wiklax. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think this fight might be canceled. Gafarov came in today on weigh-ins and missed weight by 5 pounds. But if the fight is still, if it's still a go, I would probably still take Gafarov just because I think he has enough power to hurt Vikwach on the feet. But I would say the second best bet would be that the fight doesn't go to a decision. I like that one. Again, I think it's on the feet. It's Gafarov with the power, the wild striking that he has. I don't think Vikwach is that great on the feet. And if he's too reckless and had a bad weight cut, he could get clipped by Wiklax on the feet as well. So I think KO would be more likely for Gafarov. I would say submission for Wiklax or Vikwach, because I think he could hurt Gafarov and time him coming in on a takedown and lock up a guillotine. Or I think he could get takedowns of his own, wear him out, and either ground and pound him or take his neck for a submission. So Gafarov money line is what's shown on the screen. My second best play would be fight does not go to a decision. I think it's like minus 110. But again, this fight might be canceled, so keep that in mind. I don't even know if this fight's still a go, but those would be the two bets I would give you. If you're looking for specific win methods, I would say Gafarov knockout, Wiklax submission. All right, up next, you've got Wang Kong or Kong Wang taking on Eduardo Mora. Again, fight doesn't go to decision, plus 124. I think Mora is going to be strong and powerful and, able to get Wang Kong down to the ground in the first round. If she gets her down, I think she's live to get a ground and pound finish or a submission. If it stays on the feet, I think Mora is a fish out of water. She doesn't have much to offer Kong Wang. Wang is better technically, Wang is faster, and Wang hits a lot harder. I would say if I'm going to give you specific methods and rounds, I would say Kong Wang knockout probably the second and the third round. I don't think it would happen in the first round. I know she's got a first round KO before, but that was against, kind of a trash can if we're going to be honest. So in this one, I think Wang Kong KO 2-3, which I think is plus 500, plus 450. And then I like fight doesn't go to a decision at plus 124. I think the fight doesn't go is just a safer way because it's possible that Mora takes down Kong Wang and subs her or gets a ground and pound finish in the first round and a half. If that doesn't happen, I think Wang is stuffing the takedowns, keeping it on the feet, and beating the absolute dog shit out of Eduardo Mora. So I would say fight doesn't go to a decision, plus 125. It might be not as good of a line at this point because I did make these graphics a couple days ago. But yeah, I like the fight doesn't go in this one. I would expect Kong Wang knockout, and I would expect a KO in the second or the third round. All right, up next, Bruna Brazil, Ketlin Souza. Yeah, guys, for this one, I'm just going to play it again. Play it safe. Fight doesn't go to a decision. I think if Brazil wins, it's more than likely going to be a decision. But I don't think she's going to win, and I'll tell you why. She has a very hard time with fighters who put the pace and pressure on her and get in her face and make her uncomfortable. And that's exactly what Ketlin Souza is going to do. She's going to come forward. She's going to throw big left hooks, big overhand rights. She's going to try to rough her up inside the clinch. And I think she can hurt Bruna Brazil. I really do. So And even if she doesn't, I mean, there's always that chance that Souza's forward pressure and reckless style could get her clipped on the way in against the longer, taller, I would say cleaner striker in Bruna Brazil. I mean, Brazil does have that head kick KO on the Contender Series, but she wasn't able to finish Molly McCann. If you're not able to finish Molly McCann, do I think you're really going to finish Souza? No. But on the off chance that she clips her coming in, kind of like the Jessica Andrade, Zhang Weili style, where she's rushing too much, gets clipped on the way in and gets finished, then I think there's a possibility that Brazil does find a KO. I like the submission on Ketlin Souza. I think it's over plus 1,000, plus 2,000, something like that. I think she can club and sub her. I think she hurts her coming in. I think Brazil tries to wrestle in order to tie up, and I think we see Souza jump that guillotine. So my official pick is going to be the Ketlin Souza submission, but I like the fight doesn't go at over plus 200 because it can cover both sides. So potential of a meme KO from Bruna Brazil and potential from a KO or a submission from Ketlin Souza. So give me Ketlin Souza, or give me Ketlin Souza as a pick, but give me the fight doesn't go to a decision at plus 220 for my official bet. All right, Veretennikov versus Price. The props haven't come out for this yet, but I would just say take the Veretennikov KO. I mean, Nico Price has been knocked out so many times. I think that Veretennikov has a lack of skill when it comes to the grappling and the ground game, and there's a potential that Nico Price can take him down, or maybe Veretennikov hurts him, jumps on the floor, tries to TKO him, and gets knocked out off of his back or gets caught in a sub. But I really just don't have any faith in Nico Price at this point. His chin is basically made out of glass, and if you touch it, he's probably going to put him out. So for this one, I'll take the Veretennikov KO. I know the odds aren't out. They should be out before the fights tomorrow. But yeah, I think Veretennikov knocks this guy out. I would say probably round 1, round 2, but there's always that potential that it could come in the 3rd round. But I would expect Veretennikov to be too powerful for Nico Price on the feet. And it's a guy who we've seen get KO'd plenty of times before. So Veretennikov knockout is going to be the pick for this fight. All right, up next, Donchenko versus Alex Morono. Donchenko KO 1-2 minus 125. I mean, if you want to play it safe, I would just take the Donchenko knockout. But I think it probably comes in the first 2 rounds. I actually find it pretty hard to think that Alex Morono is going to get out of the first round unless Donchenko just stays on the back foot and tries to point fight. But that's not the kind of fighter that he is. He's going to look to come forward. He's going to look to get in your face. He's going to look to unleash elbows, knees, kicks, and punches and bunches. I think he's going to back Alex Morono up to the fence, hit him with some big bombs, and he's going to knock him out in the first round. So Donchenko KO 1-2 minus 125. I know it's simple, I know it's square, but this is what I like, man, and I think he puts Morono out in the first round. If you want to take the chance on the round 1, okay, but I think at minus 125, it's better to take the chance that maybe it goes to round 2 and Donchenko still puts him away. But I think the KO comes through, and I think he knocks him out pretty early in this one and makes it look easy. So give me Daniil Donchenko KO, round 1 or round 2. All right, Dustin Jacoby, Julius Walker. You can see the bets up on the screen. I like the Jacoby KO, round 2, round 3, plus 380. And I like the fight doesn't go to a decision because I think just Jacoby's a little chinny, and I don't really trust him. And I don't think Julius Walker is that good, but he's very tough, and he likes to come forward. He likes to make it dirty. He likes to get in the clinch and rough you up with knees, elbows. He's really good on the ground. I think he's much better on the ground than Jacoby. I just think it's going to be kind of hard to get Jacoby down to the ground. And for the most part, if the fight stays on the feet, I would only worry about the durability of Jacoby more than a skill discrepancy. So I like the fight doesn't go to a decision if we're looking for like a square play, minus 150, minus 156. But that covers the Julius Walker side as well in case he closes the distance and lands a knee or an elbow up against the cage and hurts Jacoby, or if he gets him to the ground and subs him. But my favorite play is the Jacoby knockout in the 2nd or the 3rd round because I don't really expect him to KO Julius Walker in the first round. I don't think he's that fragile, but I think he can start to pick him apart, pop the jab, throw the 1-2, throw the calf kick, move around, throw the right hand, and just eventually start to piece up Julius Walker and slow him down to where he'll get like an attritional TKO and just be a lot slicker and quicker on the feet, and then eventually the ref will stop the fight, or he'll just clean KO him. So Jacoby KO 2-3, I think he's much better. He's fought the better competition, but if you want to take the shot that Julius Walker is able to make this dirty, make it nasty, get on the inside in the clinch, land some uppercuts, elbows, knees, or get him to the ground and sub him, then you take the fight doesn't go to a decision, minus 156. All right, Matsumoto versus Basharat. Basharat versus Matsumoto. You see what's listed on the screen, guys. I'm going to take a shot on the dog here in Gene Matsumoto. It's a risky fight. It's a tough fight, but I think Matsumoto is pretty good on the feet. He can probably threaten, stopping the takedowns with his front chokes, a guillotine, hold the front headlock sprawl, look to set up a darce or an anaconda, but it would more likely be a guillotine. He's not the best off of his back, but I don't think he's just going to sit there and allow Farid to stay on the top and beat him up. I think on the feet, it's the volume of Basharat is probably going to be a little bit better, but I like the leg kicks of Matsumoto. I like his boxing, and I like the fact that he kind of just always stays calm and patient in a fight, but he can unleash if he sees that you're hurt. I expect the fight to be close and competitive, which is why there's no reason to take a shot on anything else than the underdog in Gene Matsumoto. He's crisp on the feet. He's sharp. His leg kicks can start to slow down Basharat. I think he's good enough to not get held down for 15 minutes. And if he's threatening with submissions and then getting up to his feet and making the fight on the feet close enough, there's a potential that he could win via a split decision. So at plus 1,000, it's obviously risky because you need it to be specifically a split decision. But I would expect the fight to be close enough to where a split decision shouldn't be plus 1,000 for anybody, even the underdog. So, yeah, I like Matsumoto money line plus 230. I think he's very good. I think he's being heavily underrated in this fight, and I like the Matsumoto via split decision plus 1,000 because if the fight is close and competitive, I would expect it to be a split decision either way. So, yeah, give me the Matsumoto money line plus 230 and give me the Matsumoto via split at plus 1,000. All right. Oleksiejczuk versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Yeah, I like Oleksiejczuk KO round 1, round 2, minus 150. I think the KO is like minus 250, so if you want to be square and think maybe it happens in the third round, then okay. But I think Barriault's chin is dusted. I think he's done. I think it's gone. There's always a chance he can make this dirty and nasty, get on the inside, fight in the clinch with Oleksiejczuk, land uppercuts and elbows. We've seen Oleksiejczuk get hurt before, so there's always that chance that he just pushes forward and clips him with something in the clinch. But in my opinion, I think Michał is just too smart at this point, especially training under the Fighting Nerds. His takedown defense is there. He's letting fighters up if they shoot takedowns. He's not pushing with the ground and pound. He's letting him up and working on his feet. And I think it's just a matter of time before he finds the chin of Marc-Andre Barriault and puts him to sleep. So I think it's a KO in the first round. I think probably under 2.5 minutes if I'm really going to be specific about it. But I like Michał Oleksiejczuk. I think he knocks out Marc-Andre. He's just too clean and too sharp. He has too much power, and he's not going to entertain the grappling if Barriault's shooting and he's defending the takedowns. He'll just stuff it, let him back up, and keep doing what he's doing. So give me the Michał KO round 1, round 2, minus 150. I like it. Of course, it's minus money, but I think it's good money. So let's take it, the KO 1-2 for Oleksiejczuk. All right, Jailton Almeida versus Rizvan Kuniev. I like the Kuniev KO. This guy is not easy to take down. He has good takedown defense, and he actually has pretty good cardio to the point where if the fight does go late, which would contradict one of the bets I have on the screen, then I think he has the potential to knock out Jailton Almeida the later that this fight goes. On the feet, I think it's like 75-25 in favor of Rizvan Kuniev. Yes, I know Jailton has solid power. He knocked out Sergey Spivak, yada, yada, yada. The guy has okay striking, but he's mainly a takedown and top control merchant, and I think we've kind of learned that in his career more recently. This guy can be hurt with one shot. This guy, he can recover, but it's hard for him to recover. And I think Kuniev, if he didn't have good takedown defense, if he got taken down early, if his cardio was trash, then I think I would have a different opinion on how the fight really goes. But I would really expect Rizvan Kuniev to just piece up Jailton Almeida on the feet, and I think his takedown defense will hold up, and if the takedown defense holds up, I expect him to get a knockout. So at plus 300, it's an easy bet for me, Kuniev KO. And if you want to take the chance that maybe Almeida takes down Kuniev, gets on top, lands elbows, hammer fists, and potentially sets up a sub or ground and pound TKO, then I think the fight doesn't start round 3 at minus 142 is safe to play if you're thinking that Almeida is going to be able to execute his grappling. But I think it's going to be harder than people think. I think Kuniev stops the takedowns. If he gets taken down once, I think he gets back up, and I think he beats the crap out of Almeida on the feet. He's much cleaner. much sharper, and he's much more powerful against a guy who really doesn't want to be hit. So Kuniev KO plus 300, doesn't start round 3, minus 142. All right, next up, you've got Kyoji Horiguchi versus Amir Albazi. I'm going to give you one play and one play only. This is a risky one because I think this might go to a decision, but I got to take Kyoji via finish plus 250. You're giving me over 2-1 on a guy who's much more well-rounded and much faster. Easy money, easy play. Does it cash? I don't know, but if it's over plus 200, I think this is the way to play it. I expect Horiguchi to probably win via decision. I'm just telling you what I think. But again, at over 2-1, he's much faster than Albazi. He's got good takedown defense. He has submissions of his own. He's got more volume, more output, and he's faster. I mean, I think I already said faster, but I'll say it 2 times because I think he's twice as fast as Amir Albazi. Albazi's also coming off of a lot of injuries, neck injury, neck surgery, heart surgery. I just don't think this guy is the same. I don't think he's able to handle a guy like Horiguchi. I'm giving him respect. The guy's won fights before that I didn't think he's going to win, and he has a lot of power. If he's able to take down Horiguchi and hold him down, he could probably do a lot of damage on the ground as well. But I like Kyoji Horiguchi. I like his footwork, his in and out movement, his explosiveness, his takedown defense and takedown offense, and the amount of shots that he's going to throw on the feet. He has much more volume than a guy who's kind of a one-shot, pick-your-shot guy like Amir Albazi. So give me the Kyoji Horiguchi KO or submission at plus 250. That's what I like. I think Horiguchi wins this thing, and I think there's a very high potential he could get a finish, and it could be a KO or a sub, just like you saw against Tagir Ulanbekov. All right, next up, we've got a battle in the main event between Mario Bautista and Vinicius Loke-Dog Oliveira. I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to keep this one simple. I'm going to take the fight doesn't go to a decision at minus 175. I think there's a very high chance that Oliveira's awkward and unorthodox striking and his power can clip Mario in the first 3 rounds. I think the KO is live for Vinicius, KO 1-2-3 if we want to get specific. And I think at the same time, Mario is a lot sharper. He uses better footwork. He uses his jab, his 1-2, his angles very well. I think he can kind of pick apart Vinicius as he tries to close the distance and move on the outside, start to slow down Oliveira, and eventually could get a KO of his own once Vinicius starts to slow down, or he could hurt him and jump on a submission because we haven't seen it in a long time, but Mario Bautista has very good submissions in his arsenal, and I think the KO is live late as well. So I think the sub 3-4-5 for Mario would be the way I would look at it, or KO 3-4-5. And for Oliveira, I think it would be KO 1, 2, or 3 because I think he's live to get a knockout early because of the unorthodox style, because of the big winging and looping shots, and because of the power that he has and the pressure he's going to put on Mario Bautista. So fight doesn't go to a decision, minus 175, I think is the best way to play this fight specifically. And that's going to be it for my UFC Vegas 113 Bautista versus Oliveira best bets. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and lock your favorite submission on the notification bell to not miss any future uploads from the Touch 'em Up podcast.